All right, so I think we're good to go now. All right, so thank you everyone for joining this session once again. Good afternoon, and you're all welcome to Bincom ICT Career Talk. And thank you all for being here today for this event. We have quite an interesting topic that touches every aspect of our career and personal growth, finding the perfect balance between tech skills and soft skills. So before that, please in the chat, I would love us to send in our name, our expectation for this program, and a link to our social media handles so we can connect with you. We don't just want to end the conversation here, we also want to meet you, we also want to be your friends and possibly share opportunities in the future. So please do well to send in your name, what your expectation for this program is, and a link to your social media handle that you would love us to connect with you on. I'll be your host for today, and my name is Joy Nkanu. I've always been your host, so it's nice to have every one of you joining us today. So I'll be looking out for the introductions, and if I could also call out if you want to unmute and introduce yourself, you can also do that. So it is great to have all of you here. All right, so this event is brought to you by Bincom Dev Center, and Bincom Dev Center is a technology talent development organization. We help build tech talent, we enhance tech talents, and we also help build startups. So you're all welcome. All right, so we have really amazing speakers with us, and before I call them, I think let's just look into this topic: tech skills and soft skills, finding the perfect balance. What does it really mean to find a perfect balance with tech skills and soft skills? Some techies feel that they don't really need um, that that's soft skills. It's not just having the tech skills, it's you also have to back it up with soft skills, because you're not an island. You're going to be relating with other people. You're going to be you know you're going to be collaborating with a number of people, and you really need soft skills to go about this. So soft skills are very important as much as tech skills, but having both of them and knowing when to use them and knowing that finding that balance is what we want to see. And we really have amazing speakers with us. So please sit tight as we begin this session. Hi, Adekunle. It's nice to have you here. Hi, Mr. Robert. It's nice to have you here. Hi, Mr. Peter. It's nice to have you here. Trust me, our speakers are really amazing, and if you drop off, you really miss a lot. This session is one that the what you get from this session is something you would not easily get for free. People pay to hear them, so we are giving it out for free. So please sit tight and ensure that you have as many questions as possible. You can drop them in the chat at the end of the second speaker. When he's done with his own session, we'll take as many questions as possible. Okay, so I'm just going to call a few people to give us heads up on this topic, and I'm going to call Madam Comfort. She's one person that when it has to do with soft skills, tech skills, or finding that balance, she's an advocate for it. So please, Madam Comfort, can you just say hi to us and just give us a little heads up on this topic before we proceed to calling our speakers?
Hi, everyone. Thank you, Joy. And actually, so this is actually a great section talking about tech skills and soft skills. And these two things I would say hard skills and soft skills. So I would just say tech skill is more like the hard skill that everyone is expected to have. And this is usually what everybody is expecting, that, okay, if you call yourself a techie, most of the things they will be asking should be around your tech skill, your hard skill. They want to know how you're able to use some programs, how you're able to manage the project well, and all those languages you're familiar with. Those are the things that they would be expecting you to talk about, trying to refer to your hard skill. But a lot of times, some of us doesn't know that tech skill can't just be alone. It has to work hand in hand with soft skill. So it's like you have a coat, you have a cake, you're coating the cake um, with a bad coat and things like that. It's not going to present what you have inside well. So if your soft skill is terrible, if your soft skill is bad, if you're not growing your soft skill the way you're growing your tech skill, if you don't put much care on your soft skill as much as you're putting on your tech skill, it might affect the results you're going to get eventually at the end of the day. So I would advise, as an HR person from the pro services department, I would advise that as you're growing your tech, which is the hard skill, you're also growing your soft skill. It shouldn't be something that should be neglected. So that's my advice for everyone. So thank you, Bincom, for bringing this up. And I believe that all techies on the call are going to get one or more information about hard skill and soft skill. Thank you, Joy.
Thank you so much for that brief, Madam Comfort. Thank you, everyone. So it doesn't matter if you're a developer or you're into tech or you're not into tech or you're simply a lifelong learner. We are all united by the challenges and opportunities that comes with balancing our technical expertise with those often elusive soft skills that can make all the difference in how we communicate, we collaborate, and ultimately how we lead. So today we are going to explore what it truly means to bridge the gap between technical know-how and the essential soft skills like communications, empathy, adaptability, and the rest. Some of you already know. So you will also have the chance to share your experience, ask questions, and hear from incredible speakers that we have. Um, so let's make this conversation intriguing. Let's make it exciting. Let's make it fun. It's not a hook, line, sinker. You just sit and just absorb everything. I want you to share your experience. I want you to ask as many questions as possible because this particular topic is very crucial to development and growth as techies and maybe non-techies too. It just revolves around almost everything, right? So let's get started. I'll be calling on our very first speaker for today's session, and his name is Mr. Robert Kainde. He is a software developer who has a strong focus on front-end development and a love for building mobile applications. So I'm not going to go into too much because I don't want to go into his technical bio, but I will let him give us a full introduction of himself. So, Mr. Robert, the floor is yours.
Hi, good afternoon, and good morning, everyone, wherever you are joining from. My name is Robert Kende, and yeah, like you said, I'm a software developer and a full stack software developer. And I remember when I was taking my training, I had love for mobile app development, and that was really my area of focus and all the stuff. But yeah, I've evolved over time and branched into all of the whole going into web and everything. And yes, and my new love now is actually even training other people and becoming software engineers. And yeah, it's been going great so far. Yeah, so that's me, and I'm glad to be here. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, thank you so much for that introduction, sir. And I think you can proceed with what you have for us today.
Okay, as someone who has been opportune to work for international companies and even local companies, I would tell you first then that soft skills really plays a huge part in your day-to-day activities when it comes to getting the job done. Yes, having the technical skill, being able to build apps, being able to code, program, and do all that stuff is very important. But at the end of the day, you get to a point whereby you can even get to a point whereby all you are doing every day is just what you're mostly using is your soft skills. And these soft skills varies from communication, being able to communicate, being able to work in a team, being able to solve problems, being able to communicate solutions, and being able to even for someone that has been opportune to also lead other developers and also train other developers, being able to give constructive criticisms and not attacking the person, and being able to find balance in all of that come into play because um, a lot of the things that we do today, a lot of you're building apps, you're creating nice designs on the internet and on the mobile phone. AI can do a lot of these things today. Believe me, AI can do a lot of these things today. And so, what makes you different? What makes you stand out? What makes you, should we hire you? Why should we bring you into our company? Why should we invest in you? So, the difference between you and the AI will come into question at the end of the day. And a lot of this has to do with your engagement, your application, and you can't really we can't really say enough about soft skills. I remember a few years ago when I was doing my program, I was teamed up with a particular team, and I was opportunity to lead that team. And we were to build our task was to build a web application that was able to transact between users and all that. And when we were working on that program, so a lot of my colleagues then they didn't really know that okay, when you don't contribute, the supervisor is going to see it on the GitHub. All right. So if one person gets to write all the code and you come and say, oh yeah, we're done with the project and you're with the team, just hiding, playing along and stuff, we'll find out what you did. What did you do? What parts of the task did you handle? I remember then we used this platform called Trello, and we disbursed the task and everything. And it ended up being that just 3 out of 5 of us were able to really communicated and really um, worked on the project. All right. So being able to really be a team player is really important because at the end of the day, our entire coming together, our entire goal is to achieve a particular task, is to meet the targets of the company. Because the truth is that the company is there for business, and the company is there to make money. The company is there to make impact. So why should we bring you on? Why should we invest in you? Why should we pay you this huge amount of money? And what are you bringing on board? I've sat in quite a number of interviews, and a lot of the times I get to see meet different recruiters and all that. Some people would just want to make you angry just to see how you react, and all of this comes to play as a developer. It's not just about the code; it goes beyond just the coding. What is your temperament? Do you communicate? Well, if things are not going on well, are you just going to sit down and be like, oh, it's not my task, so I'm not going to worry. Whoever is supposed to do it will be in charge of it. But what do you do? How are you able to, like, okay, maybe if someone is down, are you able to help them up? Are you able to how can you be of positive impact to the community that you are a part of? So soft skills like Madam Comfort said, it's very, very important. You have to find a balance between both your skill as a technical person and also being able to actually communicate some of these basic. And if you look at it, there are some of these skills that we're speaking about are things that we were taught in our house when we were growing up. It's some of the things that we were taught when we were in primary school, when we were in college. All of these things are things that we have gone through over time. All right. So it amazes me when I see people are able to like maybe communicate when they're having issues with the task and all this stuff. Being able to communicate it is something that has been a part of you your entire life. So you not being a developer should not become the reason why you are no longer able to communicate. Maybe you should be able to communicate whatever challenges that is going on or whatever issues you're having. And another thing that is very, very important, like I always tell my trainees, is that you have to be teachable. Teachability is very important because the truth is that you cannot know everything at all. The technology is always changing. The application that I built 2022, I remember I was setting the routing, setting up the screen, and I was using React navigation. And just 3 days ago, I was trying to work on the same kind of application for another product that I'm working on. And I realized that that navigation package is no longer working very well, and I need to adapt. I need to learn something new. So I had to read documentation again, go through things again, like relearn something new and unlearn something. So teachability is very, very important. You have to be teachable because even when you are the team lead, even when you are the team lead, you can learn something from the people you are overseeing. You can, a lot of the times you are going to be working under a CTO. You can learn a lot from your CTO, a lot, because that is your goal. That's where you are going to get to someday. So you are aspiring to get to that level and you're not there yet. You can learn a lot from whomever is supervising you, whether the person had the technical knowledge or not. Because the truth is that whomever is supervising you or being your CTO or whatnot, there is a reason why the company hired them and put them in that position. That's just the truth. So there is something that the company saw, and you have to look out for that thing and learn. So teachability is very, 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 very important because a lot of times we don't know everything. We, we do not know everything. Yeah, technology is always changing. You can't keep up. You can't keep up. Today you hear JavaScript is releasing new concepts. Tomorrow you hear Golang. Tomorrow you hear Python. Now Python, we use Python for machine learning and so many other things. So you always need to adapt. You always need to be able to learn something new. All right. So I don't know if that has answered some of the questions some of us have in our mind. I would like to leave the floor for Ms. Joel Kanu to maybe give some response or any other question. I don't know if I've taken too much of your time. All right. Ms. Joel, you still here with us?
Yes, I am. Thank you so much for that session. That was really
Thank
straight
you.
to the point. Thank you so much. Okay, so we'll be taking questions immediately after the second speaker has gone. So, but before I call on our second speaker for today, please let me just talk to you briefly about this program that I know would be beneficial to you and your friends too. So it's not just here. Please do well to share with your friends. All right, so I'm bringing Bincom Global Tech Program to you. It is a 3 to 6 months, a 1 year program that helps you launch your tech career globally. So it's built on three key pillars, which is learn skill, gain experience, and gain exposure. So if you're looking to gain skill, you're looking to gain exposure, or you already have this skills and you need experience, this program is for you. I'll be dropping the link in the channel. So if you're interested in this particular program, please do well to indicate interest and would follow up with you. on that. All right, so thank you for that brief pause. I took you away a little bit. I'll be calling on our very second speaker for this session, and his name is Mr. Peter. Okay, so Mr. Peter is a software engineer and a social innovator. He's dedicated to using technology and design to make positive impact in the society. And he also has passion for creating innovative solutions that solve complex problems. He's also leading a platform called Party Jollof Africa, which is built on showcasing and supporting the African content creators and filmmakers in Africa. So please make welcome our second speaker for this edition, Mr. Peter Ayeni.
Thank you very much, Joy. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, that's really great. Yeah, it's really, really great to be here. I think this is my second time.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bincom event, and I think it's really great. I always like the opportunity to share, especially in the tech community, because when I started my tech journey, there wasn't so much opportunity like this to be able to learn stuff. So that was about in 2007. Yeah, that was when I started out in tech. And I can tell you for free, it's really, really hard at the time. Number one, like internet is really expensive, computers are expensive, really. Yeah, it's slow. There wasn't a lot of meetup and support like this. So I think we should really like appreciate Bincom for putting this together. So as a self-taught software engineer, so maybe like with show of hands or emoji, how many of you are like self-taught? You've not gone to a proper tech school like Bincom, or you didn't have like computer science degree or something like that. Can you just say yes if you are in that category, right? I just want to be sure to understand the audience a little bit. Yeah, so I think we have some people that are, if you are not self-taught, if you have like been properly trained, you can say no also. So just to be able to get an idea. Okay. Yeah, so some computer science and stuff like that. Now, the reason why I'm asking this question is that one of the things you learn when you have structured training is a lot of soft skills that comes into it. Like I didn't have that when I started in tech because, as I said, I was like basically self-taught, and then learned a lot that I could learn, and then I started my own tech company. So I was just 18 at the time. So probably my own boss for just building things the way I want. I was running the organization the way, even though I was making some sort of money at the early days then. But I still suffered for a lot of like soft skills and stuff like that, which I have to relearn myself. So uh, over the years, just like the first speaker said, the ability to be humble enough to be teachable, it's very, very important. So what I want to say that, is a normal lingua franca if you are Yoruba, like there's no one that bring everything knowledge or wisdom from heaven, like everything people learn, how to speak, how to write, how to communicate, how to relate with people, teamwork, all of these things you could learn. And also, I personally have to learn a lot of these things. I have to relearn them because for so many years I was doing really, really well as a techie because like I could learn a lot of stuff, I could code in a breeze and stuff like that, but I don't have all of these soft skills properly, but I have to relearn them. And I'll give you an example in terms of like communication. Yeah, my communication was very, very terrible because when I was in secondary school, I was a science student, right? So I was just like so focused on science that I ignored languages. I just don't go to language class, like English, thing like that. I won't just go to the class. I'm like, why do we have to? That's where you can understand and stuff like that. So I just have that kind of behavior. So I didn't realize how these things could affect me. My math was good because I don't need to communicate math, right? It's just like easy language. And also like, my science, my physics, chemistry, all of these things, I was doing really well. And when I did my WAEC in Nigeria, when my English language results, I had D7. That was when it hit me for the first time. Like, wow, I was really, really terrible at speaking. So, and another instance is when I met my fiancée for the first time. She is a medical student. She was, I think she was in 400 level at the time when we met. So I was just like doing my techie stuff and everything. And just meeting someone for the first time. So when we met for the first time, all the communication, I was just like talking blah 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 blah, running my mouth and stuff like that. And then we finished like a date or something like that. I don't know if it's a date, but that's just our first time meeting, right? And then when she got home, she sent me a text message that Peter, your English grammar is horrible. I'm telling you, like it was just so horrible. And I feel so sad. But she didn't say it that way, but she said in a way that like you need to work on it. And truthfully, because I was basically doing tech and I don't need English to communicate my tech skills. So, but that does not mean that I need to be able to communicate properly and slow down. And I just took it as a challenge. That was like 4 years after my high school. I went back, registered for GSA, and started to learn English properly. And then I redo my WAEC, and I have B2 in my English. So why am I telling you this story? Is that learning, you have to be humble, you have to be intentional about being better because it's going to pay off in the long run. You understand? I'm not saying that I'm very perfect speaking English right now. I still don't understand some of the grammars and everything, but the improvement is that now I can speak confidently. I could, understand stuff and stuff like that. So it's very, very crucial. It's very, very essential. So the second point I want to make is that how many of you are working currently full time or you're still looking for opportunity? If you're working full time, just type full time in the chat. If you're still looking for opportunities, just say looking for opportunity. I just want to like understand also the group so that it's easier for me to be able to communicate this very well. How many people do we have looking for opportunities? Okay. Can we have more response so that I can help better? So we see that we have like a lot of, at least for the statistics, we have 2 people who said they're looking for opportunities. There's nothing wrong with it. So I also, if you're a techie, you've been in and out of jobs. Sometimes when I moved to the UK, it was really, really hard, even for me to break into the tech ecosystem. All of those things that I mentor a lot of techies from all around the world, when they're trying to get their new opportunities or they are redundant, trying to get new opportunities. So getting new opportunities, that is where your soft skills shine, just like the first speaker said. Why will I invest in you? Why should I pick you out of all of this, a lot of people, and said, okay, I want to entrust you with our code base? Because, this thing is valuable. Sometimes we don't think about it. For me, I used to tell all of my mentees, think about your job search like you're trying to get a partner. You understand? So if you look at that mindset, when I went to have air calls recently, even though I don't have air calls all the time because techies, we are very busy. I do it like once in 4 months. But the last time I had, so my stylist was telling me that he was asking me, do I have a date? Because most people come to have an haircut, when they have a date. You understand? I'm like, no, 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 no. I've not done that in a long time. I've been married for 8 years. I have 3 kids already. I don't even know how dates goes. But that is the idea. I now said, he has a date tonight and he needs to look good. Like a lot of people come, have a nice haircut and, just to look good. So, and that's exactly what you want to do when you're looking for opportunities. You want to look good, you want to be attractive to the people. That's why if you have used Tinder before, you see people swipe, and then they see something they like, they swipe right, they see what they don't like, they swipe left. And then the algorithm learn, what you like or not. And then they are able, to make a decision for you and recommend more people that you like. So that is exactly how it is when you're looking for opportunities. Your soft skills, it's what is going to attract you to the organizations that is going to we can invest in this person. Because number one is this, think about it. Organizations want to invest in people that they can entrust their brand on. Can I entrust my brand on you? You understand? That's what organization, it's not just about your technical skills. I'll give an example. When there's this company in Nigeria when they just got started that Facebook invested in. I can't remember the name. So what they were doing is, they're taking Nigerian engineers and then they were, putting them in companies abroad. So yeah, Andela, yeah, thank you very much for saying that. So Andela, so Nigerians are amazing as typing away and writing codes and building beautiful stuff. But do you know the most critical problem they have with most Nigerians that they onboard on foreign organization is soft skills, communication, collaboration. Someone can show up and just abuse all the codes, and just go like it doesn't concern me. But when it comes to those soft skills, those are the long-term thing that organizations are looking for, because we've talked about getting role, right? The next thing is growing in organization, because organization wants to look like, that's what they ask you, where do you see yourself in the next 5 years? Organizations are looking for, if there is nobody available in the company and you are the only one that you're going to make decision on behalf of the company, will you be able to make the right decision? You need to think about yourself. Can you bank on yourself? Okay, if there's nobody around, the CEO is not around, the manager is not around, and then the last person that is around is you, will you be able to represent the company in a way that the organization is going to be proud of it? So those are the things organizations are looking for. They're looking for people who are going to be able to grow in the ranks. And how will you be able to grow in the ranks is through soft skills. Are you able to communication with other people? Are you able to have teamwork? Are you to be able to relate? Are you be able to take initiatives? A lot of people talked about AI taking all of our jobs. And I do tell to people, AI is not going to take all of your jobs. AI is not going to even take a lot of our jobs. AI is just going to enhance, just imagine how hard it is for news to move around those days. I remember very well recently in the 90s, people will send letters from Lagos to somebody. It takes you 3-4 days to be able to get letters. But now something happened somewhere and my mom is calling me, hey, I heard there is a shooting again. Hope you guys are fine. You understand? So that instantly they are getting to know, which is some days when people are abroad, they said they have days in which they call, maybe every Wednesday at 4 p.m. Then you go somewhere to go and wait for them, and then you'll be able to call with your Nitel, and then you can be able to talk to your family, sometimes every 1 month. But today, in a flash, we can do all that. AI have been around us for a very, very long time. You understand? So it's just going to enhance the work we do. You understand? So there is the CEO of Gumroad. I don't know if you guys know Gumroad. He's a very nerdy, amazing guy on Twitter, and he just shares a lot of stuff. So I was listening to one of them yesterday, and he said that AI is just taking your typing hands. That's what AI is taking away from you. but not your thinking brain. Because if you can't think, like for instance, if you're not a React developer, you don't understand the ecosystem. Even if you tell AI, build me a component and stuff like that, and AI do all of those things. So how do you integrate? How do you make the components work with each other? You understand? How do you do routing? How do you, like, AI can give you all the, spill out all the code for you. There's a lot of YouTube channels like how I build this without knowing how to code. It's not possible. No one can build anything without knowing how to code. It's not, it's just clickbait. The only people that can build stuff are still people who know how to code. So what I'm trying to say here is that AI is going to enhance your work. So companies are going to be assessing more of soft skills. You understand? I can tell you some of the reasons. There have been a lot of layoff in the tech industry recently. And I'll tell you, like, a lot of people have held their job, not because they are the best programmer in the field, not because they are the best programmer in their company also, but because they are the people that work more cohesively together with other people, because that's how you find progress. I used to tell people, if you are finding it difficult to get higher, look at organizations that you guys match. People want to work with people they like. That's just simple. Like, will you be in a room with someone you can't stand? No. So I was having a conversation. This is the last one before questions and answer. So because it affects us a lot, especially software engineers from Africa, because of our background and stuff like that. So some of these things we don't even experience them enough in school. So because we don't have a lot of opportunity for interaction and presentation, our schools are more like lecturer to you. Even sometimes lecturer don't even come to your class. They just send the notes or just buy my textbooks. We don't have that opportunity for debate, for conversations, for collaboration. When there is assignment group, one person do it, everybody just copy. The way these things are done. So because of that, it's really difficult for us to learn all of those things. So this guy moved to the UK and he's been doing all sorts of interviews. And you know what? So I asked him just to, play back some of his experience for me. I discovered 90% of the time he was just bragging about how good it was with Java, how amazing software engineer he is. So I have to help him to change his storytelling and narrative a little bit. He got a job in less than a month, well-paying job with some of the big government agency in the UK. Just changing your narrative. Like, people know you're good already. That's why they get your CV. Like, so when people want to talk to you, they want to talk to your essence. They want to know your story. They want to know your soft skills, your communication, how you've taken initiatives, how you help your colleagues, to get better. All of these things are very, very important. And last but not the least, how to learn is very important. The first speaker talked about it, but I just want to expatiate it a little bit. And this will help you practically to be able to build your soft skills. So no matter the level that you are at right now, the best way to learn new thing or to get better at what you're doing is, number one, you learn about something new, a new idea, you practice that idea, you build something with it, and then you teach other people that thing. So just take it up as a challenge today. Maybe something you've learned from I and the second speaker today, or something you've built yesterday, or something you read on the on Facebook, or a conference you attend. Internalize those things and then rewrite it in your own words, sharing the lessons you've learned, and then make it into a blog, for instance, or make it into a short reels. Make it. All of these things are very, very important. You'll just be surprised when I'll start improving my own soft skills, because communication and expressing yourself is very, very important. And I will end with this, sorry for the last time. They said that there is a research they did, and they put a lot of people in the room, and they tell some people to be intentionally outspoken and lousy, within the group. So, and later on, they said they should choose a leader. Who do you think they are going to select as a leader in the group? The people that were lousy were the one everyone votes immediately to become leader. So lousy in this way, I'm not telling you to be lousy and boss people around. I'm just saying that people that speak up, take initiative, express themselves more, are more likely to be passive intelligence. They know what they're doing. They can express themselves. So tweet intelligently, write on LinkedIn, express yourself in blogs, do short reels, teach what you've learned. All of these things are ways to be able to build your own confidence, you understand, contribute to other people's works, what they have done, contribute to open source and things like that. And before you know it, you start to understand that, wow, you're learning, you're developing yourself, and that's how you are going to be able to grow in whatever you're doing. So I think I've said a lot, just like buttressing what the first speaker also said, but much more important, if you have any other questions that you want to ask, so that would be the best way to be able to give more tailored response individually. Thank you, everyone. Yeah. Joy, are you there?
Ms. Joy, are you still with us?
Yes, yes, I am. Can everyone hear me, please?
Yeah, sure.
Yes,
Yeah,
Mama.
we can.
Thank you so much for that presentation, Mr. Peter. Thank you so much, Mr. Robert. Please do well to connect with them. I've dropped links to their social media handles in the chat, so I love that we connect with them. If you want to speak with them, if you need mentorship and whatnot, you can always reach out to them. Okay, so I think it's that time where everybody that has question is itchy to ask. So I would like you to drop your questions in the chat. If you like to unmute and speak, you just need to raise your hand and then I would call on you to speak. Okay, so for now, there are a few questions that I have to ask, and I'll start with the first speaker. And okay, so he's also a software developer, and I'd like to ask this question, Mr. Robert. What are some of the situations where a lack of soft skills caused a project to fail, and what were the lessons learned? You could share a personal experience if you have any.
Yeah, thank you for that question. It's very interesting because I myself have had about share of that. During my training, I was trained. I went to a training with a boot camp, and then during our training, we are given real-time projects to work on and to build for clients and whatnot. I remember before learning all of, getting to the stage of learning how to communicate and give feedbacks and whatnot, a client brought us a project to work on, and um, the program they wanted me to write using the framework they wanted me to use was Gatsby, and then I didn't know how to use Gatsby, and so I just wanted to use Vite, and I went ahead and started with Vite, and I was halfway through the project. True story, halfway through the project, and the company came back and said, no, this is not what we wanted. Please, we told you use Gatsby. I had to start all over again, go back and start working on that project again using Gatsby, learning how to use Gatsby. And I not had like 1 week to get the tax done because the company was paying for it. So that was a hard one for me to learn. And that project also opened me to knowing how to use GitLab. I've just been using GitHub and I never branched into GitLab. And when I was working with the CTO of that company, then they just had someone that was like a CTO in the company, and it was a US-based company in New Jersey. And when I was working with him, the kind of communications we had, sometimes I still go through this chat and I just laugh over it now. Now I can laugh over it, but then when it was happening, it was a whole tussle going back and forth. And at the end of the day, we ended up actualizing the project, and I learned it the hard way. I learned the hard way because um, they expected me to give feedback where I was having issues, but because they never asked me questions, they have given me time frame. I was just working, doing my thing, and at the end of the day, I ended up using the wrong technology. And when I was done, thank God, I mean, it's still React projects, but then they wanted me to build it using Gatsby. So at the end of the day, I had to just refactor the entire thing, change and started using Gatsby. And I just moved some of the components I was able to move here and then been able to speed the project and be able to deliver on time. So yeah, so that was a hard one. That was a hard one. It took me messing up a project to learn feedback. Feedback as part of the important part of being a software developer and not just coding alone. So yeah.
All right, thank you for that. That was a very good one. Sometimes we have to, maybe some projects have to cost us a lot so we can learn from it. But that was a good one. I like the fact that there was a learning phase from all of it. It shows that learning doesn't end. Okay, so Adekunle, your hand is up. I would like you to unmute and ask your question. Okay, also let us know who you're directing your question to among the speakers.
All right. Thank you, Joy. Good afternoon, everyone. Can you hear me, please?
Yes, I can.
All right. Thank you so much. I really appreciate the both speakers for the knowledge they've just shared now. So my question, either of them can answer the questions or they can just answer that way. So my question is in two. So firstly, talking about communication, how exactly do you communicate an idea that you feel like it is right, and maybe your subordinate or your team lead does not feel is the right way? One, how do you communicate that idea without being rude? Secondly, how do you present? That means if you are a subordinate, then as a leader, how do you respond to that without making yourself feel, without feeling less of yourself? As if, just like you said, no man is an island of knowledge, and in this tech space, we all believe um, knowledge is growing. We all are here to learn and a lot of that. So how do you communicate ideas without being rude first? Then secondly, how do you collaborate well in a team? Talking to each other, collaborating. But at the end of the day, we're all trying to build a product. We're all trying to work together to build the organization's goal. How do you do that as a subordinate and as a leader? Both speakers can answer that. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you. I think Mr. Peter can start. I think both of them should answer. It would be good to get from both perspectives. So Mr. Peter can start and then Mr. Robert can add if he has any. All right, please, Mr. Peter, can you help us answer the question?
Okay, so I think the first one is how do you communicate your idea without being rude? And the second one is how you collaborate properly. So how you communicate your idea without being rude, you're saying from a junior software engineering perspective and also from a leader's perspective. So what I believe is that if you are rude, you know that you are coming out rude. Like if someone wants to be rude, they already know in their mind that what you're writing is rude. And how does being rude and not giving not sharing ideas in a way that is palatable to other person is because of ego, number one. Ego is something that is very, very important. And ego is something that a lot of us as software engineer has, because we all have the best way we think something should be done. You understand? And that's the reason why a lot of people that are software engineers today or in tech, it's not only software engineer, design, art, everything is the same, because technology gives us like options. You're going somewhere, we have so many ways to get that. And software engineering as a engineering field is still not totally standardized. Like we have architecture, mechanical engineering, electronics engineering. These are engineering practice that have core standards, physics rules and something like that. But what make web technology, computers so interesting is that we can break rules so easily. And breaking rules are what have made us to build ChatGPT, all of these things we are building. A lot of things are like just people going far and beyond and just keep on breaking the rules. You understand? So which is fine. But what I think is that when you're in a team, it's totally different because you want to look at the objective of the team itself. You want to think that we are all one here. We are not competing. We are not doing uh, who is the best programmer competitions. It's not what's this platform that rank or something like that, where you lead code, where you're trying to build the most optimized. If you go to any software company in the world, every software company have this bad code there that just work and they just keep it like that. You understand? So every company has it. So that's why a lot of people will tell you that lead code and all those things are not the most representative of software engineers solving problem. You understand? So that's the reason. So when you are in a team, if you are communicating like I'm part of this team and I want it to be successful, the way you are going to write to your team lead is going to be different. You understand? Because number one, you want to think that your team lead also have the best interest of the company at mind, and you also have the best interest of the company at mind. So what do I do most of the time? So we are, especially this happens when we have technology decisions to make. Like for instance, let's say React, for instance, because React have so many state management. So we want to choose a state management, and then while I start, everybody's like, let's do Zod. No, 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 no. Let's do recoil. No, 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 no. Let's use vanilla state. No, no, no. Let's do contest. No, let's do joy. So because there are options, and that's interesting thing about technology too. And then your tech lead have the one that he likes, maybe he has used for years and is comfortable with. And you're just coming new, you just learned Zod, like, wow, Zod is the quick, nice thing that I think is okay for us to use. And so how do you communicate that without being rude? So what I do most of the time is just do proof of concept. So do proof of concept, share your idea, not based on you, but based on industry expertise. Okay. This also person write this blog post I think I love about why Zoe is a better state management than this one. And then you can take a simple part of your code that you write and you can show them. So if we use Zod, for instance, Zod is going to save us this amount of code, this more simple this thing, and then you prove of yourself like you're not putting it like I'm imposing it. I'm just like sharing an idea I think is going to help our team. So then you let the team decide. So, and if they decide to eat or not, you don't have to be mad about it because they will know that you have contributed. Contributing is the most important thing. So, but some of us just feel so bad, like I gave this idea, they didn't take it, so I won't share anymore. No, you understand? So it's everyone is trying to make the organization go better. So share your idea. Don't share based on your own knowledge. Make references to what you've read, what you've seen, because those are things that are very important. People just share that. Let's use Zod. I think Zod is better. Like, what does that even mean? It doesn't mean anything. So give the reason why you think it's better, have references to back it up, create a proof of concept, simple code to show them like, okay, yeah, this is how it will look like. This is what we have now. If we use this technology or write our code this way, this is how we're going to have. So you show them before, and then you show them the outcome, and then you show references, and then you allow them to decide. Like, okay, yeah, Peter, we think that this idea is great, but for now, we don't want to change the code base so much. We won't be going with it. We go with it. Like, okay, that's fine. Thank you. You understand? So for a good leader too, when they see that, they understand that but when you write it in a BS way, they can perceive that. Like people can perceive BS immediately. You understand? So except that you have a difficult leader that doesn't just like you, that is outlier. But for most people, when you come that way in the space of you are sharing from reference from other, maybe they are also software engineers that they too respect that have written something about that thing. So that way you are not bringing it as is your own total knowledge. Nobody have total knowledge. Every time I'm sharing something initiative, I've always come with references. Okay, yeah, Paystack are using it, or I could just do you know that Microsoft just adopted React in Windows? That means React is doing well. Why can't we move from Vue to React? You give reference like that, then they can be able to relate with it. Like, okay, yeah, if these people are doing it, maybe it can something that we can that is worth trying. You understand? So that's my own take on that. So, and also that answers collaboration too, right? Because being able to make reference, be able to share ideas, you're already collaborating with the team, and also don't take yes or no for they don't like you. You understand? And I won't contribute again. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, yeah, that's very perfect actually. What I would say is I will probably just share an experience of mine back in Ghana. So I was trained as a software engineer in Ghana to a company, a tech company, and later got hired by the same tech company immediately after my training to become a lead trainer there. And one of the things I remember, one of my mentor there then that trained me, who is currently now in Germany working. Uh, he is very good with CSS and all of that. And I remember I came to him, I was like, oh, I'm hearing a lot about Tailwind CSS lately. I would like us to introduce Tailwind CSS because I learned Tailwind CSS on my own. I became so in love with it. In fact, I make a lot of posts about Tailwind CSS. Like, oh, Tailwind CSS is my pet love. I was so obsessed with it. So I spoke with my mentor about it, and he didn't even have an idea of how to use Tailwind CSS or how to implement Tailwind CSS. And then he started watching videos about it. He started using it in some of his program and just testing it. And then he realized that it was good. And then he started advising. He was not the one advising my fellow trainees to experiment with theory CSS. Before you know it, it became like some kind of heavy challenge. Someone is learning Chakra UI, this person is learning Tailwind, this one is learning Bootstrap, and all of this stuff. And I remember when I got hired in that company, we spoke with at some point the CEO was like, we want to revamp the entire course module. And we introduced a lot of technology. We're like, oh, let's bring in Zustand. A lot of the Chinese are always having a issue with say with Redos toolkit. You know, Redos is like something else, is a beast on its own. So a lot of people always having issue with it. So let's bring in Zustand. A colleague was like, oh, Zustand is quite easy and we serve as a state management. And we brought all of these things. But the only reason it was accepted by the CEO was because we backed it up with statistics, part of a lot of research. We actually went on to do research on the internet, and it was part of our KPI for the month. So we had to go through a lot of research and everything. And then even after it being accepted in the meeting, we were made to really put our hands on our PC and use it live development with your boss watching you. We are asked to build something with it. We are asked to implement it and use it to manage the state, do this to do that and all that. And we implemented right there before they were able to be like, okay, we're fine. We were implementing and explaining it to them because they are entrusting hundreds of people to go through this with us as the lead trainers and the lead developers in the company. So we can't afford to fail. People are paying millions to get the training, and we cannot afford to just give them a maybe. So we had to go through all of that technical, I'll call it technical interview. We already staff, we're staff in the company, but we had to go through all of that. And it's you're very right. Bringing your idea to the table is good, but make sure it is backed up with data. Back it up with data. There's a reason why you feel like this is good. So put that reason into paper. Put all of that into paper. If you have an idea that, okay, I've had idea whereby I was working on an app, and this is a personal project. During my time in the program, I was working on an app and I was just discussing it with someone on the road. And the person was like, oh, this is nice. How about you just had this? What do you think? And that was it. And I felt like, oh yeah, if I had this, this can make it even more sophisticated. And I did, and just like that, you get. I remember my final demo project was me building an application whereby users are able to transact with each other, and that was my focal point. I wanted to build a fintech application. And after getting to a point, I was speaking with a colleague. He was like, oh, how about you've had this to you, like maybe users are able to buy commodities and other stuff on the platform. Yeah, that's it. And I implemented it. Implementing the functionality whereby institutions can post their commodities and users on the platform can buy these commodities. You get. So sometimes your ideas, you have very great idea, but you need to be able to back them up with data. You need to be able to, present it in a way that you are not sounding rude, like the speaker said. You can't afford to be, uh, you want to now override your boss. It's not going to happen. There's a reason why he's your boss. There's a reason. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Thank you so much, Mr. Peter. Thank you, Mr. Robert. Sorry, I had network glitch for a bit. Okay, so the next question I'd like to ask Mr. Peter is there a risk of undervaluing technical skills if too much emphasis is placed on soft skills, and how can organizations balance this?
Okay, so yeah, so for organizations, this is I'll give an example of what a lot of companies are doing now. Because in management, there was a lot of errors that were made. People were made managers that don't want to be managers. They just want to code. You understand? They just want to code, they just want to contribute, and stuff like that. So an example is like, uh, let's say the creator of Linux is a genius, an amazing software engineer. Like, he created Linux, he created Git. This guy is wizard. You understand? So, but one of the things that a lot of people have complained about him is about his soft skills and the way he talks in the community. It's just so very blunt and stuff. So, and there were a lot of conversation on it's on Git threads and stuff like that, for a while. But now, like, there have to be some kind of like management, something, positioning, and be able to put something in place to be able to manage that. So there are people like that that they're just like, they get things done. That's them. So it's important for organizations to, if you make people who get things done, and then you start putting them in meetings, managing people, and then they start making terrible mistakes and then organization collapse. So that have happened a lot. So because of that, there is now new paths that organizations are giving for technical people to be able to grow. That's why we now have principal software engineers. Before, we don't have principal software engineers. You understand? So before, it used to be you are a software engineer, and then you now grow until you then become management. You just stop coding entirely, and then you're not doing management. Now you can be coding for as long as you want because there are now two channels that people go through. You understand? So there is the management route now. If you're a technical person, you're just like, I'm just done. I just want to be having like maybe that's why in some interview for senior roles, they will ask you percentage of what you want to do. You understand? So some people do like 80-20, some people do that like 50-50, depending on their skills. So organizations should be able to assess these things. But every individual should have, even if you're a technical person, you still have to, you're not going to be coding with machine all day. You're still going to be relating with your team members, you're building tools with them, you're going to be presenting ideas, all of those things. So the soft skills is still needed, but they just don't want to be bogged down with engaging, like we are doing one-on-one with them. They're just like, they don't know what to talk to you about, and it's not their fault, but just that they're not wired that way. Or they send you a review and like you feel so bad, like, but that's just the way they are just so direct. You understand? So organizations to look at the balance, organizations to be able to assess people, and also conversations on career progression and assessments. Ask people, where do you see yourself? What do you want to be? Like for me, I still want to be coding for the foreseeable future. So for most of in my organization, like I don't like, yeah, give me more money, but not new titles and stuff like that. You understand? I just want to contribute. So, but people get to a point in their life also that they're like, okay, I want to mentor more. do other things, and then you can switch. So it's a conversation with your own career progression, with your own organizations, and the strengths you have, and then company can balance that. And if company make terrible mistakes with that, it's really affects companies a lot also. Like if you make someone that is very technical, you make them a manager, it affects. If you make someone that is very manager role and you make them a technical head, it affects the company too. You understand? So yeah, being able to decide those decisions, yeah, intuitions and assessments is very, very important. Yeah.
All right, thank you for that. It's good to assess people so you know where their strengths are and what their weaknesses are. Okay, so Mr. Robert, I'd like to direct this question to you. And Sanya is asking what to do if someone who is an introvert does not have so much words and does not know what to say and how to start. She says she knows it sounds crazy, but she would love to share. She would love that you share your idea. So I think both speakers should ask because you both seem a bit nerdy and maybe a little introverted. So maybe you would have some ideas to share. How or what's your advice to someone who is an introvert building these soft
Mm,
skills?
right, right. It's a great question. Um, I would say for the life of me though, I don't think I'm an introvert. Because when I get somewhere, in 5 minutes, you know what I do for a living. You know me. If I meet you for the very first time, I network with people very, very easily, and I communicate with people very easily. But one thing that I've found to be quite interesting is because I've been in trainings whereby there are a lot of people that were very, they're very laid back, very relaxed kind of people. That was the kind of person they had. They don't really talk much. But one thing I've come to notice is that a lot of these people, they write in their own space. Okay. So one of the things that the program where I went to did was that they made sure that we created a LinkedIn account right from the bat if you didn't have a LinkedIn account. So during your post time in the program, we are partaking in things like 100 days of code challenge, a lot of this challenge and other stuff. So whatever you build, so this was what we are meant to do. Whenever you build something or you solve a problem, you are to go on LinkedIn and write about it, make a screenshot, and then you post it. So over time, you realize that you are able to communicate whatever it is that you are doing. So even if you were an introvert or an extrovert, you just learn to become someone that is able to, you know, not just do, but also communicate it because it's very important. A lot of people would go through your code. I mean, even as an introvert, you do use commenting to comment your code to like say whatever this block of code is doing, and you use README files to like explain whatever is going on in the application and other stuff. That is you communicating, right? And like we said earlier on, you have to learn. You have to always learn. You may be an introvert today, but one thing we've come to understand with human beings, we evolve. So I would say that you just learn to become someone that is able to communicate what they want to communicate. And when you look at it very well, a lot of the times people that are introverts, when they communicate, even if they say it for once, they hit a very good point and they don't miss words. Okay, because they've taken that time to really gather their thoughts and gather whatever it is that they want to communicate across. So I would say that you learn, you relearn, and you just unlearn some certain things and join a community. Join a community. I always tell a lot of my trainees that most especially software engineering development, I mean industry, you don't do it alone. tech is something that you do not do alone. You don't do software engineering alone. You can't. It will not work. You get stuck at some points. You feel demotivated. You want to quit a lot of the times. But join a community. When you join a community, if you don't even have a community, create a community. You meet people every day. You have friends that are also doing what you're doing. You have like-minded people. There are a lot of tech hubs here and there across different cities, wherever you are. Join communities and meet people over time. Over time, it might not be, I mean, it might be a virtual space like this. And I'm probably 100% certain that the person that asked this question is an introvert themselves. And you've just communicated, right? So if you look at it very well, even as an introvert, you are able to communicate. So join communities, even if it's a virtual community, and just try as much as possible to learn new things, learn new things. Learning how to communicate is also part of it. All right. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much for that feedback. And I believe, Saiha, that has really answered your question or giving you clarity on how you can still build on soft skills, you can still build on communication skills, even though you are an introvert. Okay, so Mr. Peter, please, would you do you have something to add to that?
Yeah, I will add something to that because personally, I don't know how we grade introvert or extrovert, something like that, but I know I'm somewhere between introvert because number one, like uh, outside of my computer, I'm very reserved person. And I find it difficult to make friends. I find it difficult to network with people. It's really hard. I don't think I've made a lot of friends recently, but I have a lot of virtual friends, followers, fans online and stuff like that. And but before it's actually worse because when I started out my tech career, so I was just like this guy behind computer doing amazing things. Like a lot of people don't even know me at all. And then also I joined the corporate Nigeria. I was working for a security company. So as a designer and then a web designer. So I was doing like a lot of work. Work for Julius Berger brands and Senate. I've even designed and the speech for Goodluck Jonathan and to write to. So what I'm saying is that you do great things, and in the world we live in, people are not going to know you. If you don't put your voice to back up what you do. So a lot of introverts in history are not totally remembered. So that's why you see that in history, people that are remembered more are poets, writers, singers, you understand? And basically queens and kings because they can pay people who can write on their behalf. So it means that voice matters. So I used to tell people that what do you think people will remember in 10 years in our history that is happening right now? Do you think people will take a random person posting something on Facebook seriously, or the account of a government or of a king or something that is much more louder than the other people? So history puts hierarchy. That's why a lot of people will tell you that history are made up because the history we recap are written by people who are in positions of power who can put that voice more loudly than other people. So, so your voice is very important. I wish I could be introvert forever, but I couldn't because I wasn't scaling like I should grow. So, and what I've seen is this: the more expressive you become, the more your pay will actually rise. The more expressive you become, the more visible you become, the more passive value you are going to have. So, and I've done this over the years, you understand, as someone that I've grown my earnings from like 100%, 250%, 300% in 4 years. And this work, You understand? Because even your organizations that are hiring you, like just like you said about LinkedIn and stuff like that, is very, very important. The quality of network of people, even though the voice is even moving to virtual now. So if you're not someone that can communicate one-to-one with people, you can use your virtual voice. There is this guy that created ChatCDN. He's now working with Vassell. Nobody knows his face. He has never shared his photo till date. The guy just used no one knows him, but his work is amazing. You understand? And he's using the virtual power to communicate and express his work. You understand? So you can, if you're introverts, you can use, people have used like, is it code name or alias? And the alias have gone viral and become something huge. And then they can reveal themselves some years later, like, wow, this is the person that is doing these amazing things. So the virtual connectivity give us a lot of opportunities. And also I just started like creating content. I was just putting my face there the more and everything. So, but for me to end this so that you know how important you need to get out of your shell as an introvert is this. There is this saying, I'm going to read by Patrick Wilson. He said, your success in life will be determined largely by your ability to speak, your ability to write, and the quality of your ideas in that order. So it doesn't matter how big your ideas, how amazing your idea is. If you can't speak, you're not going to be successful. If you can't write, you're not going to be successful. So ideas come last. Speaking and writing is the first thing, is the first thing that you need to take advantage of being successful. Look at Elon Musk, look at even Zuckerberg that is very nerdy. Zuckerberg will go on Reels and show what he's done. Zuckerberg will build something amazing for his wife and post on Instagram and Reels. All of these things are the way world is right now. We all know Zuckerberg is a very nerdy person, very, very nerdy. You understand, in his early days. But look at him now. He's evolved, he's putting himself out there, is the first brand ambassador of Meta today. You understand? And that's how you should be. You have to be your own brand ambassador, for yourself. You have to be able to speak. You have to be able to write. So, and that being said, no one brings these things from heaven. You can learn it. Just start step by step, and then you become better. Start with writing, and then gradually speaking. And then you evolve. Maybe gradually showing your face. You can start in your local community, maybe in your church or in the mosque, just like, bring the youth together. Let me share something about tech with you guys. You do it in an environment that you can be forgiven, and then you start to level up gradually until you get better. Yeah.
And to quickly add something to what you just said, he said start something. He said maybe in your church. I'm going to tell you guys something very funny. The very first time I ever stood in front of people talking was in church. I'm a choir member. I've had the privilege to stand on the altar and sing in front of 1,000+ people. Started building my confidence from there. And now I was at Moonshot a few weeks ago. I was also right getting to Moonshot. Someone just spoke to me and be like, "Oh, can we all be on a podcast? Can you speak on our podcast?" And right away, I was able to get on. So you can learn it. You can learn it. Just do it in your own local space, and it's move on to becoming something that you can use across the world. Yep.
Thank you so much for that, Mr. Robert. Thank you so much, Mr. Peter. I mean, that was a very good one. So, Saya, because you're an introvert does not mean you're limited to learning soft skills like communication. I mean, most introverts have powers behind their laptops, behind their phones. Like, if it's on a phone, you can make noise, and people will think that this person is such an extrovert. So you can actually start from there and then gradually start putting yourself out there. So I believe that our speakers have been able to drive clarity to your concern about building these soft skills as an introvert. Okay, so if you have any more question, I would like that you raise your hand and then I'll call you to ask your question. But on my end, I think I have one more question to I would ask both speakers, how can a techie build resilience to handle setbacks and challenges in both technical and interpersonal areas? Mr. Robert, I think you should start first.
Um, hmm, so resilience, right? Uh, for me, all right. So I never went to university like most of you did. Okay, tech was my escape from poverty. I told my wife the other day. I said I'm working on a book. I can't tell you the name yet, but it's a very funny one. So um, when I realized that I was good at this thing and I loved it, I started putting my everything into it. And for me, was my escape. I mean, poverty is enough motivation for you to really have the staying power if you want to leave it behind. So you have to keep staying and keep showing up, keep showing up, no matter what happens. I remember my very first technical school was NIT. I was outside the country there and I went to NIT and I was the only student that came up with 100% punctuality, 100% attendance in my GPA. And the school, school was amazed. Of a class of about 100 and something people. And so if you really want to break that, for me, I'm not gonna lie to you. The motivation was I want to break free from that whole thing. And this was my escape. So I put my all in, I go out for it. If I feel demotivated, I remember where I'm coming from, then I go back again. So yeah, I've had challenges when it comes to even the technical part whereby I'm having code. I've been stuck for 2 weeks, more than 2 weeks on a particular code and it's not working. But like we said earlier on, I have communities, I have people, I have my own personal community, even when I was a trainee. And I share my issues with other people, and then they give me ideas, they give me their own perspective, and then I try to come together. Okay, funny thing, my mentor who is now in Germany that trained me, we were working on something, and for like the entire day, we were stuck on a particular task. We kept getting the same error, the same error, the same error. You know what we did? You know what he said to me? It was like, oh, Robert, you know what we should do? Let's close this PC and just take a walk. And it was like, let's just leave. Let's just leave everything. Don't worry. Our brain is tired right now. We just need to. So I just listened to him and I was okay. So I just closed down. I shut down the server and I just closed up. And immediately we stepped out on the walkway, just having a light conversation, laughing with somebody. The idea just came to him. There we were having an issue. There we had an error. And it was like, Robert, I remember, let's go back. So sometimes these things happen. All right, just close your PC, eat your favorite food, watch your favorite movie. I mean, as software developers, we watch movie a lot. I don't know about you. When I'm not working, I'm either watching one series or the other, and I'm either watching one tutorial, learning one new thing or the other, because there's always internet. That's one thing we are blessed with. So just find something to do, take your mind off things, and just reset. It will come to you. It will come to you. I've been stuck. Believe me, I've been stuck. And you still be stuck every now and then. Yeah, I think it's just part of the work. It comes with a gig, right? You still be stuck, but just finding the balance and just go out of things and just take some time to reset and come back better. That will help. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much for that. I mean, we have a lot of developers on this call, and that should be like a very good point for them. Learn to always reset, take a walk. You don't want to solve that problem immediately, especially when it's not just coming. I mean, if you're also a creative, there's that tendency that they say ice cream makes people happy. I don't really know, but sometimes just take a walk, close the PC, walk out, just do something else, and you just get that inspiration. I've heard this testimony like from a lot of people, especially developers. So it works. it means it works. Thank you so much, Mr. Roberts. Okay, so Mr. Peter, please, would you like to add to that?
Your mic is muted.
Trying to find where my mouse go to. So it's crazy. Yeah, I think that was a great one. So I just wanted to share resilience in a different perspective, especially one of the things that will affect a lot of us, probably in life itself. Because and I will give an example of it itself. So currently, so much is going on in the world in terms of like the war, economy, the country, especially if you're in Nigeria right now, blackouts mostly all the time, power grids, electricity, people abroad are smiling because they are sending few dollars home and but then inflation, so it's affecting it anyway, because now you have to send more actually. So, but we know all of these things. I've had a lot of mentees, like it's very difficult right now getting this new job. Unlike before, we won't lie to you, getting job in the tech space right now is really hard than it used to be, because if you look at the world I've been going through a lot from COVID came down, the Ukraine war, and then oil and everything. And now in Gaza, so many things are happening in the world itself. And all of these things have ripple effects. So, and then consequential elections also coming in the US in a few days, either way the election swings, it's still going to affect the economy of the world in different ways. So there's a lot of uncertainty, but when there's uncertainty, that is where we think about resilience and how do you want to handle that. But for me, I say number one, that we just have to be grounded in one thing, right? We have to find something that just grounds us. So it could be faith, it could be prayer, it could be church, it could be believing in yourself, whatever you believe in, be grounded in that. And then the level towards that is that there are just some things you don't have control over. You should be able to accept them. Like I don't have control over these things for now. Accept it, And number two is that things you have control over, do more of those things, because when you do the personal assessments, building resilience is about you understanding what you need to focus on. One of my mentor that I follow a lot is the co-founder of Netflix, and he shared yesterday on LinkedIn is that intuitively, when there is so many problem in the organizations, and then your ability to be able to look at what is one thing I need to focus on right now. Because the thing is that when you're working on a big organization, even our own life itself, we have challenges, maybe, I don't know, work, school, you're trying to get a job, you're trying to complete a project, friendships, so many things. And you're just one person. You can't do all of these things at the same time. So the ability to be able to look at, okay, what can I focus on now? Because doing a little bit of everything can just cause more chaos, because you're just poking hand in different things and you're leaving them undone, and then it just causes chaos. So being able to understand that, what can I focus on now? Because there are some problems that just go away with you just don't do anything. You understand? So those are the things that can help you. You can apply this principle to your work. Maybe you are coding and you're having a lot of problems. There are 3 bugs, 5 bugs everywhere. But what is the most important bugs that you fix now that will make your customer happy? You understand? So what is the most important design that I can do now that will make things work and everything can wait? So, and this is also the way medical doctors and emergency works. For instance, when you go to the emergency, there are so many people, my head, my shoulder, my this thing, the nurses and everything, they do what they call triage. So who is going to die now if we don't do anything? That's the first person they are going to attend to quickly. So that's why some people do some hacks when they go to emergency. They shout the loudest. So when they're shouting the loudest, people just, they just attend to them quickly. You understand? But it's a way of you being able to solve problems. And another thing I want to share, lastly, on the issue of resilience is this. A few years ago, I shared these stories on Facebook. I got a job because I wanted to, I got this job, and I gave my current company 1 month notice and everything, and it's fine. I even took a 2 weeks holiday. I travel around England and then get back to resume work on Monday. And I got to the office, it's remote job anyway. So I have my email. I tried to log in. I've not been able to log in yet. I was waiting at the HR portal. And 8 o'clock, 9, 10, nothing. 11, 11:30, nothing. At 12, I received an email that I've been fired. You know, and immediately I was like, what's going on? Like I just started today, and they said they've terminated my contract immediately. So what do you do at that point? My head was spinning. I was like, I just left my job. I was doing okay there, and you guys said you hired me, and I was fired on the same day. So how will you be able to respond to things like that? That's And we are going to be faced with these challenges all the time. At that time, I had like 10,000 followers on LinkedIn. I was like, okay, maybe I could just like start writing LinkedIn stuff and do all of those things and stuff like that and just create a mess. But I didn't do that. I'm just like, when you think about relationship beyond money and what is just happening right now, it will help you a lot to be able to manage crisis, resilience much more easier. You understand? And then you'll be more forgiving, more empathetic. My wife was heavily pregnant at the time. Like, how are we gonna do it? It's insane. She's not even earning anymore because she's on maternity leave, and the pay will even cut. I was the only one that we've been depending on. So it was really crazy. So what I want to say is that I was just able to be calmed, tried to look at what is happening and stuff like that. So even though the organization, they reversed the stuff, they onboarded me and stuff like that, I just spent like 2 weeks with them, just not doing anything really. And then, I got another offer because I even got two offers. I took them. So the second offer was still on the table. I just went with that, and I told them I can't continue because of what they do. But handling that situation, I could have handled it in the worst way that could have affected my own career also. You understand? So being able to be patient, look at circumstances, think, take a walk, and don't just react emotional. I see a lot of Nigerians that they will post on LinkedIn, this company, I've worked for them 2 months, don't pay me, I've called them. You now post all of those things on your LinkedIn. Man, and then your employer of the future will be looking at you because they are going to look at you differently. You're going to think that it's because they treat you bad. Yeah, people are going to say, oh, this bad, is this. But your next employer is not going to take it really well, even though you are the wrong. So because there are better ways of handling things. You understand? So that's the reason why I'm saying that resilience, I just want to like share it in a different way. I know it could help someone. So because these are the things that when it comes to money, sometimes we just throw caution to hell. No, I will not agree. You start going online, creating content and batching people and everything, and then it affects you more, and things just go out of line. You understand? So patience, you know, have something you believe in, believe in yourself, understand what you can control, what you can't control, you understand, and be able to make the difference. Yeah, I think that will help you a lot, resilience, and it will help you a lot in growing your career further.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Mr. Peter. Thank you for bringing that reality to us. Thank you so much. Thank you, Mr. Robert, also. So this has been a really interesting session. I mean, for me, I've learned a lot. I have taken notes of a lot of things too. So I hope every other person listening is not just listening, but would also be taking action after this session. Mr. Robert talked about communities, that we need people, we need communities. And at Bincom, we're also growing and building and also nurturing tech talent. So we also have our community. So if you want to upskill, you want to stay updated with the tech trends, you want to be part of specific knowledge track, that is tailored to your niche, you also want to find new opportunities, please do well to join our communities. The link is already in this chat, and we'll be happy to welcome you, and would also love that you can connect with other people here. So thank you so much, our amazing speaker. This session was a very good one for me. I learned a whole lot. I've taken down a lot of things, and I would also put them into practice in my daily life. So this event is brought to you by Bincom Dev Center, and I would like to talk about Bincom Dev Center in a broader scale, so that every one of us and those who are not our external attendees can be aware of us. So just permit me to share my screen. Okay, so Bincom Dev Center is a multi-location technology, talent development, and solutions platform. We have our locations first virtually near you. We also have our locations in Yaba, Lagos State, Oyo State, Kano State, Kaduna State, Ogun State, Delta State, United Kingdom, and we still have plans to expand to as many locations as possible. Our focus is on building tech talent, enhancing tech talent, and also building startups. So we have different services tailored to build on all of these things. We have our Bincom Academy, which utilizes the Montessori approach in training participants in the basic skill that is needed for the modern technology ecosystem. We also have our tech internship. It is designed to enable people at intermediate skill level gain mastery and expertise over a period of time. We have our apprenticeship, being concept apprenticeship. So if you already have the skills and you want to gain hands-on experience, you want to learn on the job, our apprenticeship program is for you. We have our Bincom Tech Network, and it is geared at giving back to the community. One of the things we do in the Bincom Tech Network is our community events, which one of it is our ICT Career Talk. We also have other events like meetups and master classes. If you want to get to know all of this, please watch out for the links in the chat. I'll be dropping the different links to all of these services. We have our live space. If you need a workspace in any of our locations for your get-together, seminars, conferences, please, our live space is available for you. We also have our global tech program, and like I mentioned earlier on, it is your solution to launching your tech career globally. It is focused on building tech skills, gaining experience, and also gaining exposure. We have our Emigrate Tech Visa. If you're looking to build a good tech profile and a good tech enabled business, our Emigrate Tech Visa is for you. It helps you become globally attractive as well, and also helps you with a tech enabled pathway to relocation and settlement in countries like UK, USA, Canada, France, and many more. If you're looking to add values to mentees, if you're looking to get a mentor, our mentoring platform is for you. So our aim is building globally attractive techies. So everything we do is tailored towards that. And also, if you want to build startups, you want to be a co-founder, you have an idea and you want an incubator for that or an accelerator for that, our labs at Bincom is for you. It is a 3 to 6 month pre-incubator program that brings together participants to build a digital technology product which will be used by real life users. And then finally, we have our tech career coaching. So if you're looking to learn your next role faster, Bincom Tech Career Coaching offers you a combination of coaching, relevant on the job training, career referencing, introduction to tech recruiters, hand-holding through application and interview process, and much more. So please do well to watch out for the links in the chat. We'll be dropping them. And also, like I said, this conversation should not just end here. We want it to go beyond these events, and we'll be dropping the link to our communities once again in the chat. So please check out for our communities in the chat. Thank you so much, Mr. Peter. Thank you, Mr. Robert. I don't know if you have any last word for us, Mr. Robert, before we call it a day.
Okay, thank you so much for having me. I'm really glad to be here. I'll just say, let's continue the great work. Every one of us, as developers and creatives, like, and let's make the motherland better. Let's make Nigeria better using our skills, using our resources, and yeah, we can actually do a lot for our country than most. And let's not just wait for our government. Let's also impact. Think about things that you can do for the country using your skills. Yeah, thank you very much for having me.
Thank you so much for that, Mr. Robert. Please, any final words from you, Mr. Peter?
So I would just say that yeah, Robert have said a lot of this stuff, and a lot have been shared today. And I would just say, you have it better now, sincerely. If I'm going to like start my tech career today, I think it will be much more easier for me than when I started 15 years ago. So you guys have no excuse not to be better than any of us here. So like you have the community, you have Bincom, all of these things. I'm really, really jealous. So take advantage of it, please. Don't sleep on it, like we say.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Peter. Thank you, everyone that took out time to be a part of this session. Um, it's all about building tech skills. It's all about building soft skills, and like I said, it shouldn't just be let's everything we've learned here would be nothing if we don't practice them, if we don't implement them in our daily life. So please do well to put out these new strategies, put yourself out, talk more often. You don't have to be out there being lousy and just be everywhere. Just find a particular niche and just talk about it. You can write it out, you can make videos, you can do podcasts, you can even do faceless content that you don't really have to put your face, but people still get to see you. So thank you for taking our time to be a part of this session. It was really an amazing one, and I'm excited to be your host. I'd love to see you in the next ICT career talk. Thank you, everyone.